Ollie Clink. I'm alongside CJ, aka the Deluded Gooner. Star of the TalkSport YouTube channel, by the way.
Appreciate you. No, I can't, man. That's Happy Summers.
Absolutely.
Give it to her.
No, but you do well. You take it to task, mate.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
It's easy because she supports Spurs.
Exactly. The wall will never stop between me and Abby, man. But nah, she's a good sport. She just supports a rubbish team.
Merry Christmas, you Tottenham lemon.
Anyway, obviously it's World Cup Day. We're getting all excited for it. We're previewing all the teams.
30% now.
30%?
30%, man.
30%?
30%, Ollie, man. 30%, man. We're getting somewhere. We're almost at the 50.
We need to put you on a speed charge, mate.
Yeah, you do.
Get you up to 80% by 5 o'clock.
You need to get one of the official Apple ones, man.
Yeah. But anyway, we're obviously building up to all of that, and then CJ insisted.
This guy slandering me.
That we talk about Arsenal. No, we should. We should talk about Arsenal. Now, look, obviously the dust has settled on this season. You had the massive high win in the Premier League. You had the big low of losing the Champions League final. How do you kind of reflect on it now that we've had a few weeks since you've had 150 parades?
Needs to be 200.
How are you kind of reflecting on that season?
A roller coaster of emotions, Ollie, man. Like, this is a bit of a surreal moment for me because this was the first season of the 4 under Mikel Arteta that we've obviously been in the title charge that I said, you know what, the gloves are off, let's get over the line. And I did believe he was going to do that. I do think my faith wavered when we lost to Bournemouth and we drew against Wolves. But if you told me in August we'd be in 2 cup finals, the League Cup final and the Champions League final, and lose to PSG on penalties, whatever context we've got to say, and win the Premier League 7 points clear of Manchester City, I'd have bit your arm off for that immediately. If life was fair, we'd have a lot less. Of course, if you've got a cake, you want to eat it, innit? So that's how I look at the Champions League, Champions of Europe, all of that yada, yada, yada. We lost it on penalties. There were things we could have done differently, but I'm chuffed we won the Premier League, man. Even if we won the Champions League and not the Premier League, there'd be question marks at this football club. Like, a lot of people sat there and said the league is a marathon. It's a true reflection of a team. We needed to get over the line. So, yeah, man, I'm buzzing, man. It has sunk in, but when you're at the pinnacle, you want to stay there. Like, I'm 31. I've never seen us retain a Premier League trophy. So that's now the task. I think we've got an advantage in that. I don't know what Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Man United, people with new managers are going to look like. So let's capitalise, man. And I'm sure you're going to ask me about it, but transfers, like, we get some serious players and Arteta does what he needs to do, we win the Prem again.
Yeah, what does he need to do then this summer? Because it's already a strong squad, let's be honest, but surely it's that forward line and especially that left-hand side. There's obviously been the links with Morgan Rogers. What would you make of that? Is that someone you'd like to see come in?
It's a weird one with Morgan Rogers because if we do sign Morgan Rogers, like if he was to name Arsenal's strongest 11 right now, the left-hand side is up for debate. So if we assume Morgan Rogers was going to sign for us, the left-hand side is obviously where he's going to get in. I want to be a bit greedy. I want to have Morgan Rogers and I'll get back to him, but I do think we miss a 1v1 kind of demon, someone that's just gonna, I know this doesn't really work in the present day, but chalk on your boots. Like, do you know who would be perfect? Whether we can find someone, Sadio Mane, like that kind of ilk of player on that left hand side.
Kvaratskhelia?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna cost an arm and a leg if not more, but that's the level of talent we need at this football club. Whether we're gonna put the money down or find those individuals before they become household names, Ollie, I don't know, but I do think we need to do that. In relation to Morgan Rogers, there's so much to like about him. Technically proficient, got that positive chip on his shoulder, extremely versatile. I think he's a player Mikel Arteta would love. I actually think in that midfield role, even though we're talking about him off the left, I actually think he would pick Pip above Eze, if I'm completely honest. And everybody talks about him on the left, as I just did there, or centrally. I think he could play box to box with time. And he does play off the right hand side. If Saka's not there and we're not playing Max Dowman, I'm having Rodgers. Get him in the club tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I think you're right to point out that he's a very Mikel Arteta player, isn't he? Because he likes a bit of a Swiss Army knife.
Exactly what Rodgers is, a Swiss Army knife. And, I know he didn't make it at City, but you came through Manchester City's kind of system, obviously via West Bromwich Albion. You've played under Unai Emery, which is one of those managers that you have to do a lot off the ball. And I remember at the start of last season, a lot of Villa fans and actually Unai Emery, they were quite critical of Morgan Rogers, and he's bounced back. Another thing, like you said, with the forward line, he brings numbers. Now, obviously, I don't know if he's necessarily going to score at Arsenal, but in the last 2 years, he's got a strong return for goals and assists. Now, you compare that to my current existing players, it's light and day, isn't it? Bring Morgan Rogers. If we can have Morgan Rogers and another kind of left winger, if you can get me Bukayo Saka up to full speed, we're laughing, but there's no way around it. To go up to another level, the tactics have to evolve from Arteta, and we need some ballers, man. Like, respectfully, like, we need some serious players in the attacking unit.
Do you need a number 9?
I wouldn't be against it. Yes and no. I think Gabriel Jesus is going to leave. Marino and Kai are going to play there. They're trusted members of Mikel Arteta's system. I like Gyökeres. Neither Gyökeres nor Kai, I think it's over a 38 game. Let's have it right. They're not they'll have their opportunities, but they're not kind of like a Haaland's going to play in any conditions. Neither is that. I would put it this way. I would like a striker. We need a left winger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Whether you could get Julian Alvarez, what's the level raiser? Great. Whether you could get a Krupi who could be groomed into that role, great. If you can't do something or you don't have that ace up your sleeve, park the striker off, because I think we can get away with that, quote unquote. I don't think we can afford to not sign a left winger. It's been 3 years in the making, man.
Yeah, and it will be interesting as well to see if you do get that quality left winger, what that will do to the likes of Gyökeres and Kai Havertz potentially playing in that 9 role.
Exactly.
Because I think, and you'll probably agree with me on this, I feel like, you know, obviously when you look at the amount of set pieces Arsenal's got, obviously, you know, we know about all of that. But there sometimes was I don't know, and he didn't have his best season, but an over-reliance on that right-hand side.
We're very right-hand centric, yeah.
And look, do you know what? I think Saka sometimes got unfairly criticised because in each game, because of that over-reliance on that right-hand side, and of course he missed a few games because of injury, but that the lack of a left-hand side meant it was so one-dimensional at times. But if you can make that signing, it could, I don't know, it could release everything.
Exactly.
It is exciting, isn't it? If you could get that kind of player.
It is, man, because you look at a lot of other clubs, generally, they need to make more wholesale appointments. Us is just more about getting a few clever bits and bobs, getting people back into form. And you said it there, like, obviously every team probably has a bias to whichever side, but whether it's because of just Saka being a good player, but we've missed Saka, we've missed Benjamin White, we've missed Kai who pulls to the right-hand side, Martin Odegaard, whatever have you. We have been very right-hand centric and suffered those effects. The left-hand side, now, I would say we've looked our most fluid generally this season, when it's been Trossard and Calafiori. Granted, Hincapié has been a warrior, he's been great, but that's the only time there's been some quote-unquote balance. Arsenal's a bit of an open book in what we need to improve. The left-hand side, we didn't stumble in this season and say, oh, we need a left winger. We needed it last year. We needed it the year before.
True.
So for me, I always look at that Liverpool model under Klopp, where you had Firmino as the facilitative figure. So if we assume Gyökeres or Kai's that, you had the two monsters either side that were getting abnormal numbers in Sadio Mane and obviously Salah. Now, I'm not asking Saka to be Salah, and I don't know whether you find the next Mane, but for me, that's the blueprint. Like, the goals need to be shared around. I don't think Arteta wants an out-and-out number 9. Like, if you can score goals, great, but you have to be kind of like a false 9 or have elements of doing that. But to answer your question, left winger takes us up several gears. But I could put the question back to you. When we're linked with certain other left wingers like Rashford, like Liao, it's not that, don't get me confused, yeah, I like them. But they don't 100% convince me. Even Gordon was linked with us. He's gone Barcelona. So I've always been in the camp of, just get me Morgan Rogers. But then I pip it back to you, because is Morgan Rogers an out-and-out left winger? Like, because there is that gear. Because, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Do you eventually play centrally for Arsenal?
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, as much as it has worked, let's be honest, because you built such a strong squad, I do sometimes think with Arteta, I'm like, go and get a specialist, though. Go out.
That's
there
where I'm at now.
And get that magic left winger like you've been talking about, that can just take them up to the next level, and don't worry too much about your squad depth. Because I then look at it with Morgan Rogers. You talked about him playing centrally just then, and you're like, well, hold on, you've got Odegaard as well, you've got Eze as well. Where do you fit them in? And do you upset that kind of squad harmony?
You're going to need to, no? To get to that next level,
yeah,
you're going to have
true.
to.
Yeah,
and Arteta's done it before, because, you know, Ramsdale, for example, like, I know Ramsdale's never 100% convinced everyone, but at the point of us signing Raya,
yeah, I can back those.
Yeah, Newcastle fans are quite harsh on him. If Kepa leaves, you're more than welcome to come home, Ramsdale. But at the time of us getting Raya, you couldn't see clearly Raya was better than him. We didn't really need a goalkeeper. We had the clean sheet record, and that was off the back of the first season. We were quite known for being good defensively, but we signed Raya. In hindsight, it worked. So you're gonna have to make those unpopular decisions. I know winning the Premier League has put a kind of gloss over everything, and everything's great, but in the most respectful way to my boys, some of you are past your limits. Like, I don't really want to talk about the left-hand side. I don't really want to have another season where, unfortunately, Gabriel Jesus is on the wage bill. My heart bleeds for him. Me and you were talking off air about players extending their careers elsewhere. For me, Gabriel Jesus, get him to Italy. You will score goals out there. But we've got to be cruel to be kind. Like,
you mentioned Marino starting in the 9 before you mentioned Gabriel Jesus. That kind of sums it up.
Exactly.
It is exciting though, isn't it? When you look at that uncertainty around Man City, obviously Pep's gone now. There's question marks over the charges, of course, the alleged charges. Liverpool are in transition. Are you comfortable favourites? for the Premier League next season.
You can never be comfortable, because I know we won it 7 points, but there was times it swung with City. Now it depends how you look at it, because on one hand, I think we can seize the present. There's a lot of unanswered questions at all the clubs you said there. Like I was telling you off air, I think Areola's going to be great for Liverpool, but I don't know that type of thing. So that can either fear you, because what if they do get their act together? It's an element of unknown, or as you know yourself, even with Eddie Howe, it's a process. So I do think now is the time to strike. Now is the time to finally take advantage of the present, if I'm honest with you, Ollie, because there's a lot of regret from the past. We're kind of alluding to it. There's a lot of uncertainty in the future. I do think we need to seize the present moment to the point where, go on.
Yeah, can I ask you something?
Go ahead, man.
I'm going to make you an offer, right? I'm going to make you an offer here.
Let's go.
And mainly because I think Arsenal's run to the Champions League final, let's be completely honest, they had a Southgate. Let's be completely honest.
Come on.
No. Wait, hold on. They did very well in the league phase.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, they deserve that run. But let's be honest.
How?
Mate. Come on, man.
Can I ask you a question? You're
Come
not
on.
wrong. But, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but one, we had to earn that with the league.
I agree.
And then obviously there's a bit of fortune because Barca didn't do their job. But you go and look on the other hand side. I know on paper, Chelsea, Liverpool. Last season that's just gone, Chelsea, Liverpool, yes, on paper. But this season, was Liverpool a good side in Europe, or let alone in our league? Was Chelsea? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right, what I'm saying is you didn't play, the likes of a Real Madrid on the way. Let's just have it right. Yeah,
we didn't.
But you know what I mean.
We didn't.
You weren't playing top.
That's my one regret, in that you want to seize that Champions League.
This is what I mean. And it's a really good opportunity, because that doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to make you an offer right now. Would you rather next season?
Sounds like deal or no deal.
Yeah, this is great. We're going to get the banker on the phone.
Yeah.
Banker on the phone. Would you take retaining the Premier League next season,
do this, Ollie, man.
or winning the Champions League and you come second?
Ollie, man.
I think this is tricky now, because actually,
you're horrible.
I think if I'd asked you at the start of last season, you'd have said Premier League. You'd have said, I want to win the Premier League.
No, it still would have been difficult,
Really?
Yeah, because if I'm picking purely for myself as an Arsenal fan, disregarding the millions that support my club, I'm picking the Champions League. We've never done it. You get where I'm going. But I do think, with the fact of, obviously prior to this season, for example, 22 years not winning it, 3 years, coming up short under Arteta. We needed that monkey off our back. We needed that shadow to be casted. You're horrible, Ollie, because we've just got to a final. It's been great. I have to say retain the Prem. I have to.
Really?
I have to, because that's the... Obviously, I want to win the Champions League, but that's the true reflection on your football club. 38 games. I'm being selfish if I pick the champs. I'm being selfish. And I can't miss something I've never had.
That surprises me. It does. This is the Social Everyone Talks Sport